How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Gundam card game video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today we have another Gundam card game deck tech video, this time featuring one of my favorite new mechanics and archetypes from Dual Impact Reanimator, or rather like a purple discard pile trash graveyard synergy deck. And this deck prominently features cards from Gundam X, including Gundam X and a bunch of other Vulture cards. Is this deck the best deck in the Gundam card game? No. If you'd like to see the best decks, hey, look, I already did a video about that. I'll have a link in the description down below. But is this deck a really fun off-meta rogue deck? Yes. Yes, it is. And one of the decks that I think can get a lot better over time, especially as Vulture and the Gundam X style archetype gets more support. And it looks like we're going to be getting some of that support in set 3. So, hey, maybe this could be something that you keep an eye on as things progress. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into a top-down and talk about my Gundam X Reanimator deck. Let's do it. Alright, so let's start talking about our Gundam X Reanimator deck. Now, welcome to our official deck tech videos. If you watched a few of the other set 2 deck tech videos, that was before I actually had my full playsets. And now that I actually have my full playsets and that I'm building the decks in paper, we're going to be showing off the decks actually in paper. So this is my actual deck. Also, I can't imagine anyone recognizes this, but a huge shout out to anyone watching who recognizes what this deck box is from. If you do, I don't know, that's impressive. Extremely impressive. This is from a Japanese card game that I never made it to the US. This is just our resource deck. We have our little custom Red Zone Rogue EX base and resources available on redzonerogue.com. And here we have the deck. Now, this deck, as you can see, is a purple and white deck. We are running cards like the Ailstrike Gundam. However, we are not running your typical blockers package like a lot of other white decks do, because we need a critical mass of Vulture unit cards so we can actually get the Vulture unit effects. So that's really important. We are basically splashing white for Kira Yamato, the Ailstrike Gundam, as well as Overflowing Affection, which is fantastic in a deck like this. So let's go ahead and talk about all of the units. Then we'll talk about the pilots. Well, actually, I'm going to reverse that. We're going to talk about the pilots first, and then we'll talk about the units, and then head back over to the rest of the stuff. This deck's a lot of fun, like I said. It is a Reanimator style deck, but I wish we had more Reanimator style effects, which I do believe we are going to be getting in the future, but right now we're playing with what we can get. So let's talk about one of the most important cards in the deck, and that is our purple pilot, Garrod Ran and Tifa Adil. This is a level 4 1-cost 1/2 pilot. Burst you add to hand, and then when you pair this, doesn't have to be linked, but we do have a lot of ways to link this card. You may discard one. If you do, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You can reveal one Vulture unit card from among them and add it to your hand. Return the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. So this is really good and really wants us to play a lot of Vulture cards. Doing that discard is actually not that bad because we have cards like our big boss monster Gundam X that wants us to have 7 or more cards in our trash. So discarding cards inherently isn't a bad thing in our deck. We just want to make sure we have a critical mass of Vulture cards in the deck so we can actually not whiff off of this one. Looking at the top 3 isn't a ton, but it is what we have to deal with this card. Almost every unit, and you can see we have a big chunk of units, almost every unit in the deck is Vulture with 2 exceptions. I'm basically running all of the Vulture cards that I think are good, so there's not a lot of options in terms of Vulture cards right now. So we are running a full 4 of. This is a fantastic card for the deck. Great, kind of a card selection, and also ways to fill up our trash, which is really, really good. We're also running Kira Yamato, one of the best pilots in the entire game, and I think it fits in pretty well with this deck. Level 4 1-cost 2/1, and then on attack you can choose an enemy unit and give it -2 AP during the battle. So just a really efficient pilot. A lot of people already know how great this card is, and we're running the big Ailstrike Gundam to kind of go with this as well. But what's great about Kira is that this is just on attack, so we can put this on any of our other units and still get the effect, which is really, really good. The reason why Yamato and the Ailstrike Gundam are so good in this deck is that neither of them are dependent upon each other, which is fantastic. Like, we can still get the Ailstrike's effect off of pairing Garrett and Tifa, or off of Kira. So, really good stuff there. We also have the command pilot, Roy B. Loy. So a level 3 1-cost 1/0 pilot. It's a command as well. So the command side says, on main, if there are 7 or more cards in our trash, once again, we care about putting cards in our trash, choose one friendly vulture unit. During this turn, it may choose an active enemy unit that's level 4 or lower as an attack target. So this is great at just kind of picking off other units. Or we can use this as a vulture unit, or we can use this as Roy B for their link. So yeah, really good, solid card for the deck. We're running 3 of them. Now let's talk about the units. I want to talk about the non-vulture units first. We do have 2 of them, which add up to 8, and all the rest are vulture units. I want to talk about these ones because they're really important and kind of like help fill out some of the problems that this deck has. The first card is the Gaffrin. Man, I wish how this card was a vulture card. This is a level 2 1-cost 2/3, and it just can't choose the enemy player as its attack target. So that means you cannot choose to attack their shields or their base. You can only attack their units. But that's fine. We don't really care about this being an aggressive card. We want this to just help pick off all of the early aggression that our opponent plays. In fact, this card is exceptionally good against all of the X2 decks, right? If the enemy is running a bunch of gems or gem-like units, a bunch of 2/2s, this can 2-for-1 them, right? It can kill one gem and then pick off another one if they can't immediately take it out. So yeah, this is a really, really nice card, and one that we really want to get early on because we don't have a lot of cheap-costed vulture cards. So yeah, this is great and helps, like I said, fill up a weakness of the deck. And then likewise, we have the Ailstrike Gundam. The reason we chose Ailstrike over any other color is, 1, we wanted white for Overflowing Affection. White also gives us Yamato, and white gives us the Ailstrike Gundam, which is still really, really good. Once again, because we get its effect off of any of our pilots, and it's a level 5, which is super important for our Reanimator card we'll talk about later. So I just wanted a good level 5 card that had good support around it, and this was the perfect option in my opinion, at least for now. So it's a level 5 4-cost 4/4 with blocker, and then when you pair it with a level 4 or higher pilot, you can choose an enemy unit with 4 less HP and return it to the owner's hand. So just really, really solid. We can get that effect, like I said, off of Garrett Ran and Tifa, and then we also obviously get it off of Yamato. So yeah, these are our running 4 of these, of course. These are our non-vulture units. The rest of the cards in the deck, or the rest of the units, are all vulture units, starting with our big boss, the Gundam X. This card is really sweet. It's a level 7 5-cost 6/5 with suppression. It just has it. Great way to close out the game, which basically means when it deals damage to our opponent's shields, it blows up 2 shields at a time. Super good. And then when we have it linked, during our turn, with our 7 or more cards in our trash, all of our other vultures get +2 AP, so that makes all of these other cards pretty strong that they can like trade off or blow up bases. Good stuff. And then obviously it links with Garrett Ran. So yes, that does link with Garrett Ran and Tifa Adil. That card does count. So great stuff. Obviously we're running a full 4 of. We're running 4 of all the vulture cards. Spoilers. So there's that. Next up we have the Gundam Leopard. So this one links with Roy B. Loy. So we are running 3 of them. So we get the link on this one. Level 5, 4-cost 4/4. On deploy, if there are 7 or more cards in our trash, choose an enemy unit level 4 or lower and rest it. Really good if we already have something in play, so we can just jam in and take it out. So good stuff, especially if we have stuff like Yamato, so we can shrink it a little bit and make it a little bit of a better trade. So we are running the full 4 of these as well. Getting that rest is pretty solid, and once again, level 5 is pretty relevant for later. We're also running the Rare Gundam X. This card is super good in the deck, and I want more cards like this for the deck. This is a level 4 3-cost 3/4, and then during pair with a Vulture pilot, so we actually get this off of Garrett Ran or Roy B. When it's destroyed, we choose one Vulture unit card that's level 5 or higher in our trash and add it to our hand. So basically, any of these cards right here. So we can choose Gundam Leopard or Gundam X to bring back. So these are good cards to actually discard early with the pair from Garrett Ran, and then we can just get it back with Gundam X. This is part of the Reanimator for Reanimator. This card's great, and I wish we had more. Also, it links with Garrett Ran. So another 4 cards that link with Garrett Ran. Next up, we have the Gundam Air Master, so I call the Dualies. He's rocking the Dualies. Super simple card. Level 4/3 cost, 4/3 with blocker. It also has Link with Vulture trait, which is 7 of the pilots in our deck, which is really, really good. And that's it. Super simple, super good. So yeah, we're running 4 of these. So we do have a little bit of blockers in the deck. Not a ton, but we do have the Air Master and we do have the Ailstray Gundam. And then we also have the Gundam Air Master Fighter Mode. This card is fantastic in the deck because level 3, 2 cost, 3/3, good stat line, and it just links with any Vulture. And we're running another 4 of these. And that's going to be it for the units in the deck. What's really important to note is that all of our good Vulture cards, all of our Vulture cards at all, they all link, which is really good. So we can get extra value from them. We can always potentially have the opportunity to jam them out, link them with the pilot, and get some great value. There are other cards that don't link with the Vulture pilots, still have a link with the deck. So we have Ailstrike linking with Kira. And the exception is our little Gaffrin, which we really, really want to get this early. This is going to be one of the cards that we use to stem the early aggression from like the aggro deck. So if you're playing this deck and you are playing against a like really aggressive opponent, or just in general, you probably want to mulligan and try to get at least one Gaffrin in your opening hand. Because we kind of go to mid-range pretty quick. We go level 2, 3, and then we have 4, 4, 5, 5, 7 for the unit. So it gets up there pretty quickly. All right, let's talk about the rest of the deck, commands and bases. So we're running Overflowing Affection. Of course, this card is made for this deck. Maybe not literally, but it's so good in the deck because it's a draw 2, discard 1. So not only do we get that filtering effect, we also are able to put cards into our trash to fuel the effects that care about 7 or more. So yeah, this is really good in the deck. And then we also are running Awakened Power. Now this is the Reanimator side of the Reanimator deck. Hopefully we get more Reanimator cards and that are more efficient going on, but this gives the deck some degree of staying power against mid-range and control decks. Against aggro decks, once again, we're a little weak to that. We're kind of like leaning into the Gaffrin a lot, but we really, really want more cheap-costed Vulture cards. That's what this deck could use a lot of. So hopefully future sets bring us that. But anyway, Awakened Power, super good. One of my favorite cards from set 2. It's a level 6, 2-cost card. And then on main, you choose one unit card that's level 5 or lower from our trash, and then we pay its cost to deploy it. This is why I wanted another powerful level 5 unit, so we can actually have more hits with Awakened Power. So we can get Ailstrike Gundam, we could get the Dualies, or any of these other cards. Unfortunately, we cannot get our Big Boss Gundam X, but we can get the smaller Gundam X, which is actually kind of interesting. What you could do is you can do this, right? And then you could pay the 3 to get this one, and if you're able to pair this up with a pilot and it's destroyed, you can then get one of the bigger costed cards back. So you still have an avenue to get back your Gundam, your big Gundam X, but it's a little bit of a roundabout way to do so. I just wanted to point that out in case you end up deciding to build this deck and have fun with it, because I do think the deck is genuinely a lot of fun. And we're running 3 copies of Awakened Power. And then the final card in the deck is our base, and it's the Frieden. So it's a level 2, 1-cost base. Pretty good being a level 2. We can actually play this fairly early against aggressive decks, and that's something that, don't be afraid to do so, especially if we, only get one Gaffrin or no Gaffrins. You're really going to want to drop a Frieden to kind of protect us until we can start doing our other stuff. It's just a 0/5 base. Deploy, add a shield to your hand, and then when this is destroyed, you take the top 2 cards of your deck and you put them into your trash. So they help fuel all of our trash synergy. And yeah, that's the deck. Like I said, is this deck the best deck in the game? No. Is it fun? Yes, this deck is a lot of fun to play. And one of my favorites when I'm playing against someone who is also playing like a rogue build or one of like a homebrew build or something like that. If you're playing locals and it's a little bit more casual, I think this is really fun to play. If you're playing against people who are absolutely cutthroat and they're just jamming Wing Zero and 1 Year War and blue-purple like aggro Tekkaden and that kind of stuff, maybe swap to a more competitive deck. But in a fun, casual environment, this deck is super fun. And I think it is one of the decks that could get a lot of really good support in the future, because I do think stuff like Awakened Power are inherently powerful. So yeah, I like this deck a lot. And it's a lot of fun to play. What can I say? So if you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe hype the video as well. Let me know what you think of this deck in the comment section down below. Do you have any special tech for a deck like this? I think I made some really nice choices with this. I really do like the little white package we have here. I think Overflowing Affection and then Ailstrike and Kira give a certain degree of power to the deck that it might not otherwise have. And I think Ailstrike pairs really well with Awakened Power. And then once again, Ailstrike and Kira being able to do their effects on anything, I think is just super good. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll have more Gundam card game deck techs in the future. And once again, if you want to see all of the meta decks, I have a link in the description down below for all the top meta decks. Next up, we're probably going to do either Gallarhorn or my personal favorite deck, which is a blue-red Neo Zeon Cyber New type list. I really love the deck. It's blue-red. There's no Amuro Ray in it. It's just a lot of Zeon waifus, and it's great. It's so good. Marita Cruz, Haman Karn, former Asame. Good stuff. So let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.